Carl Brown. Welcome to Growing Pains, taking your business to the next level. Today we will be talking about estimating for small businesses. It is part of the training CMBD provides for new estimators, more experienced estimators who have never been exposed to formal training, and other construction professionals who want to better understand the methods by which site work construction cost estimates are developed. Joining me is Mr. Aniema Udofa, President of Creative Builders, LLC. Welcome, Mr. Udofa, to Growing Pains.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. You've been a instructor with CMBD for the past 3 years, teaching estimating to our CMBD accelerated participants. So explain to us what is estimating and why small businesses need it.
That's a very important question. And in fact, it's a key question. The importance of estimating to a small business cannot be overemphasized. In almost every instant, the building contractor finds himself or herself putting some cost estimates together and has to provide a cost, or he has to bid a job in competition with others in order to be awarded the contract. In this instance, if the estimate is too low and he is awarded this job based on it, it is just the name of the business. He has to put up all the efforts and he has to complete the work. And there is no magic to it. He's going to lose on the project, on time, and money. And in many instances, it is a very big blow to a small business person. So, in the other hand, an efficient organization is the one that takes the project with a fair price. He's able to perform the job. He's able to put the materials together, and he's going to make some money and a living out of the project.
So, to help a small business understand how to put an estimate together, could you run us through the pertinent steps that are necessary to do that? Because, like you said, you can either bid too low and basically make no money on a project and it could potentially put you out of business.
Yes.
Or you can put yourself out of the competitive range by bidding too high and not being awarded the business.
Yes.
So what are the pertinent steps one should focus on to put out a what I would deem a good bid or a competitive bid?
There are very easy steps to it. The organization just have to get the proper training on how to compile an estimate. And as far as building construction is concerned, it is almost impossible to be able to estimate a job without, first of all, being able to read the blueprint.
Okay.
So the blueprint reading is a starting point for any good estimate. Many a times, they collect the blueprint, and if you cannot read the blueprint and be able to interpret the blueprint in detail, then it is impossible that you are going to be able to compile a legitimate estimate. And some contractors end up guessing on the price. And it's a very big price to pay.
So understanding how to read blueprints, but then what about your numbers? Where are they getting the numbers from?
If you're able to read the blueprint, that means you're able to interpret the documents. Estimating would involve the drawings and the specifications. So you're going to be able to coordinate between the drawings and the specifications and be able to do your takeoff. And then the pricing is the easy part. There are so many pricing factors, and building some pricing from experience is the best. But then there are so many construction cost data that has average prices throughout the industry in many specific areas.
So would you say to a small business to use that pricing data that's available to help them come up with a bid?
At the time that you are starting, it's almost a good start because you have to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. But you cannot take away the experience. It is always a good idea for the estimator after the project to compare the estimated prices with the actual prices and to be able to adjust the numbers for future bidding. And that's how you're going to stay competitive.
I love that. I love that because a lot of times they just move on to the next project without evaluating what they did on the previous project.
Right.
And that's what I call moving the money around.
Right.
Or some people say moving the cheese.
Right.
Because you don't know if you were profitable on that project at all.
Right, right.
So you're saying, again, drill it down to them, evaluate.
That is to say, you're going to be able to compare the estimated prices with the actual prices and then be able to make some adjustment for future bidding.
So as it relates to small businesses, what are some of the mistakes that small businesses make when they're doing the estimates, or what are some of the challenges with a small business?
I would say the challenges is very specific. The challenges that a small business contractor will face is not the ability to do the job, because most of them have the ability and the skill to undertake the job. But the challenges that is very common or all over the industry for small businesses is the lack of financial ability to carry the job.
Okay.
Lack of technical and documentation ability, and lack of proficient work crew to carry the job. And again, without these elements in the small business, it makes the small business not bondable. And of course, without the bonding, it makes the small businessman just stagnated. It's difficult to grow.
So what would make a small business, if you will, someone doing like less than $5 million, say they could build a hotel at National Harbor?
If you're doing $5 million a year, is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, let's say a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, small businesses should know that limitation, that size, and sometimes to limit the greed because overexpansion is another form of failure. It is not likely that a small business doing $5 million a year would be able to put the nerves together to go and build a hotel at the National Harbor that you are talking approximately 30 million.
Right.
Now, they can try it thinking that they can manufacture that magic, but most of the time it leads to a failure.
Right.
And I would blame the small businessman equally as I blame the party that awarded them the job.
Oh, if they got to that point.
If they got to that point.
Because I would think that most people would do some type of due diligence.
That's right.
To say that,
Yeah,
well,
right.
you know, maybe you could subcontract
Yes,
or team up. But
yeah, why not
as the
team up
prime,
with some
yeah,
other person?
yeah,
You know?
You're not going to be the prime one.
Their financial capability is going to just be a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're about to go to break. When we come back on the other side of the break, let's talk about tips that a small business could use to put an estimate together that would be competitive enough for them to win the opportunity.
Those are real good points.
Great, and we'll get to it. Stay tuned for more Growing Pains when we return.
A proper estimate is an estimate that
Prince George's Community College isn't just a place that offers more than 200 academic, workforce development, and continuing education programs. It's the first step toward the career of your dreams. It's a community of people who want you to succeed. It's where degrees are earned and potential is realized. Apply and register today. Call 301-336-6000. Prince George's Community College, transforming lives.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're gonna need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tough. Can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future.
That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more
persuasive.
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Welcome back to Growing Pains as we continue our discussion of estimating. So before we went on break, we came up with tips on proper estimating techniques for small businesses. So if you could elaborate on that.
Now, a proper estimate is an estimate that is put together with proper details. Now, you have to be able to do a good takeoff for the materials.
Now, for our audience's sake, what is a takeoff?
A takeoff is like gathering the data and gathering the necessary materials, the information that you need, okay. The material information that you need to be able to do the job. And that is derived from the construction drawings and the documents, specifications that you are given.
Okay.
The specification would contain the type of materials, and the drawing would show you how you're going to put it together. And with this, you are able to gather the materials and the labor to be able to do the job.
Okay.
Without this detailed approach, it makes the estimating very incomplete and, of course, a guess.
Okay. So, what happens if you do not estimate properly? What are some of the things that can happen to your business?
That's very simple. There are two things. Either you bid the job too high and you cannot get the job. You cannot pay the employees, and it's impossible to sustain the business. Or you bid the job too low, and if you awarded the job based on the low bid, you are going to lose money, you're going to lose time, and you're going to retire in debt. And you're going to make the last assignment in favor of the creditors. You're familiar with the 800 number calls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those are going to be coming into the businesses. And at a certain time, it gets very frustrating, and the business cannot sustain.
So, as an instructor for CMBD, what are some of the things that you tell our accelerator participants, and what are some of the things that you see in the classroom environment that you're explaining this estimating to those folks?
Most of the time, in almost all the classes, the participants come in there ready to learn.
Okay. Because
they have some experience of not estimating properly. So when you write the word estimating on the board, their eyes lit up down. So they're ready to learn. And you have to take them through the blueprint reading and let them understand the importance, or as a prerequisite to putting the estimate together, they have to be detailed in the blueprint reading. After they are able to interpret the blueprint properly, then we start cranking on the estimates. We walk them through each of the division of the estimate, and we show them the proper way to estimate and how to coordinate between the drawings and the specifications to be able to come up with a good estimate. And of course, how to write the proposal based on the estimate.
That's critical. So, in your opinion, is this program preparing them for the next level, for the next step in success?
I could not have defined any better program in the industry. And as a matter of fact, commend the efforts that you and the CMBD staffs are putting forth in training these small businesses, because without these tools, the stability and profitability in the construction industry is impossible. Now, with this program and with the classes that they are being prepared, they have the opportunity to build their businesses and build on the experiences and be able to achieve and sustain the business in a profitable construction industry.
Yeah, I know when I read your reports, you're very thorough, and you always give us inside information on what's going on in the classroom, which I really, truly appreciate, because if you don't give us the feedback that we need, whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. But we need that feedback to tweak the program to make sure that we're meeting the objective of training these businesses to go to the next level. So what kind of insight can you provide that you've seen in the classroom, or some of the challenges of the businesses that are sitting there trying to learn from you?
Now, again, the small business person is still, I like the name of the program, Growing Pains, is still undergoing some growing pains. It is real difficult to get to the field in the morning, walk till late, and then come back trying to sit down to estimate. And I let them understand in the class, if you're going to do this business the right way, you're going to learn how to cut back on the field time. Or if you must be in the field, you have to hire a proficient estimator for your business. But then it's still important for you to learn the estimating so that you can cross-check the estimator.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
That's like hiring someone to sign the checks and you don't look at them. If you're not controlling the checkbook and the estimate is basically controlling that checkbook, then you're putting yourself out of business.
That's true.
So yeah, that's smart. Now let's drill down to the homeowner. A lot of homeowners, you get the yellow pages. You get you want to do something in your house. You want to put in new cabinets or some granite, or tear out your bathroom and put in marble floors or whatever in the bathroom. What can we arm the homeowner with when someone comes in and gives them an estimate? What should they look for?
Now, one of the mistakes the homeowner makes is call a small contractor that would come in there, look around, and give them a price right there and then. Now, the homeowner is depending on somebody that would do the job real cheap. Mm-hmm. But Mr. Brown, you know what we always say, you get what you pay for. So first of all, the homeowner should know that the lowest bidder on the job is not necessarily he's not going to necessarily do the best job. should at least stay with the mid-range estimate and check on the contractor that has a little bit of performance background, a reputation to carry the job. I've talked to many homeowners that would always call us, can you give us an evaluation of this job?
Right.
The contractor I hired, I have been calling him. I cannot get a hold of him. And when I call him back, the cell phone is being disconnected. So we go in to evaluate these jobs, and we always recommend to the homeowner, if you don't know much about construction, get a project manager to manage this project for you so that you can get done without too much pains.
Well, we're in our last minute of the show. Could you give us some pearls of wisdom that you could leave with the audience on estimating, what to look for, that kind of thing?
I would summarize by saying that estimating is one of the most important aspects of any construction business. And a good estimate would yield very good benefits and results to any organization. A poor estimate is a devastating experience. And we should always make sure that our estimate is proper. If you don't have time to estimate the job, it is better to move to the next job with a proper time for your estimate than just guess the price.
Thank you, Udofa, for
Thank
being
you,
on the
Mr. Brown.
show. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you next time as we continue to help you take your business to the next level. To find out more information about the CMBD Accelerator Program, call us at 301-583-5205 or visit our website at www.cmbd.biz.